Time for Howell again. Puts his foot in the ground, fires towards the end zone, and it is caught. And that is the rookie that they have been talking about in camp for Dallas. Camden Brown wrestling with Shamar Jean-Charles. But the tie's going to go to the offense. What a reception by Camden Brown.
Just went up and made the combat catch. Look at him fighting for position right there with the corner. Makes the adjustment on the football and goes up and grabs it. And again, we know if both the defender and the receiver have their hands on the football, it goes to the offense.
But this is what I'm saying. Sam Howell stepped up in the pocket and was able to throw the ball so comfortably. Doesn't matter what DB you are. If you have to cover for this long, it's going to be tough for you.
Top of the afternoon, top of the Victory Sunday afternoon. It's your boy B Jizzle, and I got the co-hosts here with me. The big three, baby, is going down. It's the week one or preseason game one recap the day after or the morning after or whatever you want to call it. But the title of today's show is Who is Camden Brown? But let's say what's up to the co-host down there below. I got my girl Kels from the DC Nation fan club tapping in over there at the DC capital of the world. What's going on, Kels? How's the weather out there?
It's going pretty good. And speaking of DC Nation, we will be celebrating 9 years tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah. Round of applause. And of course, you know, I got my guy, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy, tapping in. That's your round of applause, Kels. We're going to give you and the DC Nation some fan club. Yeah, I know I'm a little late on it. But I got my guy, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy, down there below. Bob, how we doing in Colorado?
Oh, man, good. It's a beautiful day, man. Went out and had some breakfast early this morning. I got some stuff done around the house. It's probably about 70 degrees, which, man, what a departure it has been from the 105. We had like over 100 degrees for like 6 days in a row. We were hotter than Atlanta for a long time. Doing well, feeling a lot better after last night's game, after the game started kicking into some normalcy. But I'm doing good.
Well, we're streaming live per usual on 3 platforms. Shout out to all of our Built Different Group Green Bad supporters. This content is supported by you. We appreciate that. The Big Three is live. We're going to recap on the Cowboys game yesterday. Hi, haters. In case you didn't know, there was a Cowboys game last night. Shout out to all of the veterans on LinkedIn for Military Creator Con 2027 in Fort Worth. We see you tapping in with all the professionals. And shout out to all of the subs on YouTube. But, man, I was at the game yesterday, Bob and Kels, and I was like, who is this number 6, Brown? Because I'm like, touchdown from, Sam Howell, touchdown from Joe Milton, which that was a tale of two halves, and we're going to break that down. But what a game last night, y'all. But shout out to the Cowboy fans that pulled up from Tri-Cities, from Oregon, out there with One Star One Family at the press box. We was deep. There was no Seahawk fans. I thought there was going to be Seahawk fans trying to stamp us out, but they didn't even show up.
Man, you guys are deep there, man. That's great to see. That's real great to see.
Did the stadium look like, well, I know they have blue variations too, but was it like a sea of Cowboys or was it like a good 50-50 mix?
Well, it was all good when the Cowboys scored. It got loud. I was like, okay, there's some Cowboy fans in here. But then, when Seattle did their thing on that first drive, going down the field with Drew Lock at quarterback, I was like, they're loud, and it's going to be a long day at the office here. But let's just get into it. Like, who is Camden Brown? Like,
he's a kid who's trying to make an NFL roster. Is who that guy is. Every year you see it on a couple different teams, man. You've got the veterans who are out there doing what they're supposed to do, maybe a little comfortable after maybe their second year into their new contracts, whatever the situation is. But when you've got a hungry cat out there on the field trying to make a name for themselves and hit a roster spot against the defending Super Bowl champions. Yes, obviously there were backups and everything. What you saw was a kid trying to make a team, and that's what you want to see on our team, man. This is what the preseason is about, folks. It's not about starters. This is about these kids doing what this kid did in a game in front of everybody and letting the team know, hey, put me on the spot. We'll see what we can do in the regular season and postseason.
Kels, I know you were probably pretty familiar with Camden Brown, but I know a lot of us didn't know, and I know everybody now knows as a result, 2 TDs from each quarterback. What was your thoughts initially on the star last night with 2 scores?
Well, I was saying backstage with Cam is he should not have been an undrafted free agent for any team. He should have been drafted at least in like the 4th, maybe 5th round. But one thing I can say, the Cowboys always had like a knack of getting a lot of their value talent in the undrafted free agency.
Yeah, we can thank our scout for that.
Yeah, hello.
Will McClay and the scouting team and all of that.
Will's got to be mentioned in this. Will's going to be a manager of a team at some point. I don't know if it'll be ours, but that guy's a genius. He picks out really, really good talent, like you said, Kelly. It's the truth.
From what I've been hearing in training camp, outside of Jashawn Barham causing all kind of mayhem and ruckus, they've been calling the training camp the Cam Brown show because he has been showing out.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing from other insiders, that they've been talking about him. Some folks have been knowing about him. I didn't know. I was at the game yesterday and I kept squinting. I was like, who is number 6? Because let's talk about this first half. Let's just start off in the first half, because it looked like it was going to be a tough day at the office, which it is right now for me. But yesterday, that first half, Drew Lock taking that Seattle offense down the field. I'm like, come on, defense. Come on, defense. Come on, defense. And I'm like, it's going to be a long day at the office. They scored early in the first quarter. Bob, what was your thoughts initially about this Cowboys team, the energy or whatever coming out on that first drive with Seattle at the helm?
So look, we're all of our memories for as Dallas Cowboys fans right now are ended at the last game that we played. So we automatically want this one to be a much better game than the last one we played, whatever the case may be. So people forget, again, these are young kids in here playing. But that first drive kind of scared me. It was really because the pass interferences, just the stupid things that we were doing, that just feels like we deal with that every year, right? And so we started getting that old feeling, the cold feeling climbing our shoulders, like here comes these dudes again who keep jumping, who don't know what a snap count is, anything like this. I felt a little weird, but it was really good to see. After they put together, I think it was a 12 or 16 play drive, we went and back and did the same thing on them, although we only got a field goal out of it. It was good to at least see an answer, but it did feel at first as if it was going to be a bit of a long day, but it should have felt like that for all of us anyway, because we're looking at players who are trying to make a team. So things are going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. We got to figure out how to not be mad at these kids for doing that.
Yeah, because after that first driving and them going down and scoring, they didn't score the rest of the game. But we'll get into more of that a little bit later. Kels, what was your initial thoughts on the team coming out and what you were looking for with this Dallas Cowboys new, really revamped team on the defensive side with Christian Parker?
Because, like you said, this is a whole new revamped defense. I was like, I'm starting to see some, like what Bob said, I'm starting to see some of the same things. Like it's mirroring again, but I'm like, but we got Christian Parker. Let me give it some time. But the defense started rolling and everything. But yet we need to work on these penalties. I'd rather get these penalties cleaned up now in preseason rather than having us deal with it.
I seen a couple false starts. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
But we weren't the only one that got false starts. Seattle did get some too as well. But initially, in that first half, I was like, and here we not only did we let them score, now we throwing false starts.
Yeah.
But those back-to-back third down pass interferences on Carson, right? Is it Carson?
Kalen Carson.
Yeah, Kalen Carson got torched. Then he got flagged.
On third down, like those. So that was the reason that their drive was sustained. That first drive was because he screwed up on 2 pretty big third downs, and they were able to capitalize on that. So, I bet you there's nobody in that locker room more pissed on than that dude. I don't remember him making those kinds of mistakes in games last year. So I think it'll probably be cleaned.
Kalen really didn't play last season. This is his third year. And he's jittery. He really it's almost.
But he's fighting some injuries too. Didn't he have an injury?
Yeah, he started with an injury in his rookie year, his sophomore year. So he's coming off both of those injuries. And yes, he was jittery and everything. But I mean, I'm not I'm not slighting him at one bit, but he's just like another DeMarvion Overshown. He don't have no skins on the wall based on injuries and everything. And by that, you don't get the reps that you need as far as learning the playbook and getting on the field and everything. So this is almost like a baby learning how to crawl.
Well, y'all know before we kicked off preseason, I told you my position priority focus was going to be QB2. We know we don't see Dak. We haven't seen Dak in a preseason game, I believe, since 2017. However, the Cowboys are 1-0 since 2017 to kick off the preseason. But let's talk about the first half, Bob, on quarterback play with Sam Howell, because definitely a tale of two halves. What was your thoughts on Sam Howell in that first half on the offensive side of the ball?
All right. Well, first of all, excuse my dogs. They're going nuts upstairs. Apparently, there's someone at the door. But I walked into this game already feeling like Howell has this second spot on lock. It's just one of those things. You got somebody who's a little bit more proven, especially someone who whipped on us. I feel like you already got that. You have this on lock, but Milton made it feel a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be at the end of that game. So I'm back to the beginning where it's like I don't know, but it was really good to see Howell composed, making good throws. You know what? I think honestly they both kind of played almost the same in terms of what grade I'd give them. So it's hard for me to be like either one's got a neck forward on this, but at least they both have a grasp. And it seems like I'm thinking maybe Milton's getting a little bit more of a touch on his passes, although he did zing a few of them. He's still putting some touch on them now, which is all he needs to do, get a little bit more accuracy. But it's good to see them fighting for this spot because I think they both know that we might only be carrying 2 this year. Maybe they're just saying that for competition or something, but it was still good to see them both be composed, not throwing picks, not doing stupid things, and scrambling when they need to scramble. So it was pretty cool to see.
And because I mean, one thing about Sam Howell, he's almost like you could use him either way. He is a gadget. He's good in the pocket, but he's also good as being a mobile QB.
He did get out and run. He's not as quick as Milton, but I did see his feet, and we know he got a gun because he threw it up to Camden Brown. And when that kid caught that, and the Seahawks player was fighting with him over it, I'm like, come on, dude, like let it go. Like you carry, like hold the L, on that first one in that first half.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I felt like that came out of nowhere. I think I was just saying to myself before that throw, you know what? I don't think I'm going to see a long ball in this game. I just was saying that if the pacing just felt like it was going to be like 8 yards, 8 yards, 8 yards. And then as soon as I was comfortable with that thought, boom, it gets launched. And then dude goes and makes an adjustment to find that ball. If you watch that slow motion first touchdown to number 6, he made an adjustment that was ridiculously intelligent. So that whole thing made me go, damn, this offense is still doing what it's going to do, because it almost feels like it's hard. It'd be really hard for us to repeat what we did last year and then be better. But it's making me feel like the offense in some way is going to have that happen.
Yeah, and that particular play, this is when hip adjustments matter.
Yeah.
Because the way that he contorted his whole hip just to make that play.
Yeah, that was crazy. It didn't look like a 5th string wide receiver out there. It looked like somebody who was out there who was already starting. It was kind of nuts.
It's gonna be something. I mean, he was good, but I think he's going to go on special teams, which means I really feel that they may be carrying 6, and then they're going to hide some other receivers. We know how I told y'all how the Cowboys hide players. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep it on track here with the quarterback discussion. I want to carry this discussion through the show, not to interrupt you, Kels, but looking at the stats for Sam Howell, first half, 8 of 12, 94 yards, 1 TD. 1 TD by each quarterback. But I would just tell you my thoughts on the first and the second half. Clearly, in the second half, I felt Joe Milton moved the ball more. In the first half, I was like, man, it's like we're not getting no push.
He's got more attempts there, obviously, and more completions out of those attempts. That makes a lot of sense. But it's also you can also throw those plays in for Milton that you can't for Howell, even though Howell is mobile. But Milton's probably got a couple where it's like, if you don't see anything right away, run. Whereas Howell might be more of a check down going through 1, 2, 3 before he decides to do that. It's probably easier to program Milton into these plays that he knows he's going to be mobile on. But he did seem a little bit more alive. Again, I was really surprised at the quarterback play.
I thought the offense responded to him. It just felt a different energy on the offense.
There's a buzz.
I don't know. Y'all let us know down in the comments below, Kels. What was your thoughts between, Sam Howell in that first and that second half? We're talking about Sam Howell and his stats. I mean, did you feel like he was, was there some sputtering going on, or what was your thoughts?
It's even. Like, even when you look at the stats, is a very even kill. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to say who's going to be the QB2. I would not be surprised if they will do next year, even though I said that they are looking at doing the 2 QB, the emergency, in the emergency QB3. Yeah. That's not going to take a hit to the 53-man roster. I would not be surprised if they decide to keep 3 on the actual 53-man roster, and they will just shovel them in and out. Like, if we're so far ahead in the game where you could pull Dak Prescott out and you let Milton and Howell finish out the rest of the game, they will probably, depending on the downs or the type of scheme that the opposing team is doing, they may design a book just for those 2.
Or maybe, we can put our QB2 at the end of the season after the Cowboys lock down the division, because we got these 2 first division games, and I know we still got 2 more preseason games. We got the Cardinals up next, and I know One Star One Family is going to be out there. So if you're a Cowboys fan that's going to the Arizona Cardinals game, go to onestar1family.com. I'll drop the link down in the comments below. They are having an event out there. They're pulling up, but there were tons of fans. Let me ask y'all, Bob and Kels, what did it look like from the TV screen in terms of Cowboys fans at the stadium? I seen Cowboy fans everywhere, but I was on the Cowboys side of the stadium, but I had a bunch of 12s. I mean, they're real nice, but there was a bunch of 12s around me. What did y'all see on this TV screen?
I mean, unfortunately, I had to hear the Seattle announcers. I didn't love that. It was all Seattle all the time. I didn't love that. All the shots that I saw in the crowd, since it was a Seattle airing, it was basically all Seattle fans. They may show, I don't remember seeing a lot of Cowboys fans, but again, I didn't expect that to be a big thing either. But real quick, going back to this Milton situation, we all know that he's the electric guy. We know that he's the guy that definitely brings that energy to the game. He is to Sam Howell basically as Malik Davis is to JetBlue right now. Because no matter what, it doesn't seem like JetBlue can do anything better with the ball than Malik Davis is doing. He gets on and rips out. So I feel like there's this energy thing that we've got a bunch of different players on this team that have different sort of energies that they're bringing in. Milton does bring that excitable energy. I feel out of my second string quarterback, I feel like maybe I'm old school. So I feel like maybe having somebody who's more proven, who's a pocket quarterback, feels better to me. But it's still, if you've got somebody who can make plays, it doesn't matter at this point. The game's changed. So I don't know. I'm feeling good about that. But the presence of Cowboys fans, I think, in Seattle games has always been probably be okay, but you'd never know it hearing it because that stadium is ridiculously loud. How loud was it in person, man?
Well, that's I'm glad you bring that up. That's a great conversation piece because, I mean, as a retired veteran, I got what's called tinnitus. I don't know if y'all know what that is. Constant ringing in the ears. You worked around loud shit on the aircraft carrier for years, your ears ring, right? So first time I ever went to
concerts I've been to.
Yeah, exactly. Not just veterans, folks who got tinnitus, y'all can identify. But at the 12 stadium, I've often heard that they constructed this stadium for, the acoustic effects there. But I'm not really impressed. And it's not because I have tinnitus. I just think they put extra cheese on it. Like they put extra garlic on their fries because they got garlic fries in the stadium. And all I smelled was garlic everywhere. But, it's not as loud in the stadium. But I want to know from you, Kels, what did you see from the screen? What did you know stick out? Did anything Cowboy fan-wise stick out to you?
All I know is just a sea of blue. So,
yeah,
it was hard to say if it was more Seattle or more Cowboys. It was just a nice variation sea of blue. But I mean, it looked good. I mean, it looked real good. But I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't see on the screen like they were focusing on Cowboys fans. It just felt like a Seattle Seahawks production and presentation from my end. And again, I'm watching this on NFL Network, which I finally got.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Funny how that worked out. Me and Kels were talking about that before you got in there. That that network deal got worked out before the first preseason game.
Oh, right? You don't even know. Listen, 2 days before that got worked out, I've got the NFL Plus app because I was like, I'm not going to not watch these Cowboys games. If I got to get NFL Plus, I'm going to do it. So I did it. 2 days later, I've got NFL Network, so I'm going to cancel it, obviously. But yeah, I was able to watch it, and it felt like a 100% Seattle production. The female announcer, and it sounds like such an assy thing to say, but even my wife gets annoyed by her. She has this cadence that kind of screeches at me, and I think her name is Kate. She was calling the game, so it was the presentation was just so Seahawk forward. And again, props to the team, props to the fans. They earned everything they earned last year, but it just felt so Seahawk forward that I didn't feel a presence of the Cowboys at all. I wasn't really even looking.
I mean, but the thing is, that's one thing that we just have to keep in mind, that if they're showing, like, we all know that but basically the first 2 games of the Cowboys preseason will always be an away game. So we have that it will be their color analysts calling the games.
Yeah.
But when it comes to us, then we will have Isaiah Stanback. Now that Cal Humans is no longer with us, he's in Baltimore.
Yeah, I seen Isaiah yesterday. He was dapped up, like he was dappered up with a 3-piece on. He was cleanest looking announcer out there. Shout out to Isaiah.
Very, very sharp dresser. So we don't know who's going to be with him to call the games now that Cal Humans is in Baltimore, calling the games for the Ravens. So when the Saints come, we will have our people calling the games.
Nice.
But with her,
yeah, because I've been reading some social commentary. Some Cowboy fans are saying, yeah, God, it was like pulling teeth. You know what I mean? Listening to these announcers when Seattle wasn't doing nothing after the first half because they didn't have anything.
It was Michael Bennett. I think it was Michael Bennett.
Michael Robinson.
Mike Robb, but somebody else was there. I think it was Michael Bennett.
It was another guy, but
yeah.
But the other one was definitely Mike Robb. And
Mike Robb I can deal with. I like Mike Robb, man. He's good. He's good.
Yeah. And I like to listen to his commentary when he is at the studios for NFL work. And
no doubt.
And he approached the game with an unbiased view, because he will call the deficiencies on both ends, and then he'll give the props for both teams as well. And like he was
the only one. He's the only one playing the fence. Everybody else was supposed to.
He said one thing he does admire about Maris Leofau is that he looks forward to a guard, a running back, or a quarterback.
Yeah.
He looks forward to it because he'd be ready to pop off. Now, I've watched him play on the outside. He looks good on the outside, but that's just one game. He looks pretty good. But we got 2 more preseasons to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that lady, she was messing up his name, called him Leofo.
Oh my God. The first time my wife looked at me like, what the hell did she just say? I go, you know what? Let's not even get into it.
Just let it.
Because I looked at her. I said to my wife, I go, it's Leofau. She's like, I know it's Leofau. I was like, I just want to make sure, because it did.
Y'all let us know down in the comments below. If you watched the game yesterday, how was the announcing? I've been reading terrible commentary because it sounds like they were the local reporters or the local folks. Like you said, Kills, we're going to get the Cowboys folks against the Saints. But those folks here in Seattle didn't have a nice thing to say. So without a nice thing to say, we started off the show on nice things, right? Let's talk about what the Cowboys did bad. What is the bad thing we need to work on that stuck out to you, Bob, the most as we kick this off on what the Cowboys need to fix? Because we won, that's great, but we do got some things to clean up. So, Bob, in your preview, what do we need to work on that stuck out to you the most?
Well, I feel like, first of all, I think the defensive penalties were kind of cleaned up. They went felt real heavy at first, and they kind of got cleaned up. At some point, Seattle was making their mistakes, so it felt like there was a good amount of give and take and in terms of that. But I know for a fact that I don't know if it really has anything to do with penalties, but offensive production, I think we need to see more out of Blue. And we need to see some better intensity out of some guys who we were expecting to go ahead and make that second step. But I don't know. It's a weird thing in preseason. Everything is skewed and messed up, and you don't even know if the team says, all right, we're going to throw these plays against the wall right now, knowing they might not work. Let's just see how it works. We don't really know what their situation is when they're walking in, because these are just glorified practices. So as viewers and fans, it's hard to watch these sometimes.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm going to work backwards. They did. I don't think Blue was expecting. I mean, normally you will want all the reps, but I don't.
Hey, Malik Davis, 7 carries, 39 yards. Israel Abanakanda, 7 carries, 36 yards. Jaden Blue, 8 carries, 19 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, this quarterback 2 battle is up for grabs. I mean, I think we've all written in Jaden Blue, but that's great that you bring that up, Bob. And I know, Kels, you're touching on that too as well. This quarterback 2 or this running back 2 battle is up for grabs, because we didn't see no Jay Will yesterday.
Yeah,
that's part. And I don't want to get off of what you were talking about. I still think the stupid false starts, offsides and stuff, like there's a couple things, but it just got cleaned up as it went. So it's hard for me to say that we need to keep working on it. I just think that these are young kids that we saw, so they're going to make the mistakes that we saw. If we saw the mistakes out of these guys, out of our first stringers, then we would be having a long conversation right now. But this is kind of to be expected, and they're going to get an earful, and those mistakes are probably not going to get made. I don't think we're going to see Kalen Carson doing what he did this game and the next couple of games if he starts and plays.
Kels, what was one thing that stuck out to you we need to work on in that game? First thoughts.
Ooh-wee. To me, the penalty. But like I said at the start of the show, let's work on these uncalled for penalties now in preseason before we have to deal with it in the regular season. I think that was my main thing. But as far as the running back, I really need to see more about that. I already have a feeling that Malik Davis has solidified his spot. I just don't know if he's going to be like an RB2 or RB3. I don't think Jaden Blue was expecting to have that many carries as he did once Phil Maffa went out. And, he's just getting over injury. And now, he was ruled out for the rest of the game.
Get back on these penalties. 13 penalties for 103 yards for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys led the league last season with 133 penalties. Number 1. Seattle Seahawks, 8 penalties, 71 yards. Definitely penalties. Y'all let us know in the comments below. Our girl Prototype's tapping in. She says penalties. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to work on this. Because 13 penalties? Yeah, I didn't realize it was that many. I know we had a couple false starts in the first half, and I'm like, damn, here we go.
Yeah.
Do we know what they were first half compared to second half?
No, I just got the total here on Google.
I think the majority of them was in the first half.
Yeah, and again, that's what makes it frustrating to watch these games, because these mistakes are kind of supposed to happen. You want the preseason to get that, like Kel said earlier, get this out of the way now, so that when these games matter, you're not making these stupid mistakes. But yes, penalties are something I think we definitely need to clean up. It's hard to evaluate the offense and defense because they were backups, but I feel honestly like the team has bought into this new defense, because there's still players that were playing yesterday that were playing last year with us too. And it just feels like we're on the ball more. It feels like we're at the ball more. And it feels like we're just a little bit more intelligent. Somebody was mentioning Shamar James too. Again, linebacker play, and there's a lot of stuff to be looking forward to. The bad things, I think, were really just the penalties, man.
Sticking with the bad things, the penalties, right? Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Did the muff punt for Trayshawn Holden seal his fate? Y'all still think he makes the team? Kels, let me throw the ball to you first. Let's talk about the muff punt as we continue the bad things the Cowboys need to work on. Is Trayshawn at risk of not making the team? Because the first return looked good, but the second one, not so much.
I don't think it's a nail in the coffin. I just, just limit the bonehead decisions. Just don't bring that in when we go into preseason too.
Because they kicked it all the way away from him. And I'm like, dude was in this corner. The punter purposely kicked it this way. He had to traverse to go all the way across, and then bloop.
Yeah.
And then they recover and the defense holds. That's a whole nother thing. But Bob, let me throw it to you now. On the muff punt, what was your thing? Do you think Trayshawn Holden is at risk for making the squad for that play?
I mean, that's what preseason's here for, right? So, if you see someone doing this in preseason multiple times and you're trying to coach them and they're not fixing this, then yes. I don't believe our team to be that automatic hack you and you're gone team like we might have been in the 90s. I still feel like we give folks some chances now. I honestly, I feel like if we see this happen a couple of times in the upcoming games, then yes. But I think the first game of preseason is way too early for you to say anybody's going to lose their job on a mistake, because I think that's what these games are here for. But repeated mistakes, I don't think our team's going to be like, yeah, let's give this dude a try. Let's give him a pass.
Right.
I don't think it helps them, because not only that one play, but we know the wide receiver room is not an area of concern, especially after Camden Brown's performance last night. I mean, let's go to the opposite side of the spectrum. Does Camden Brown's performance last night and this first preseason game, does that solidify him to make the roster?
I know it gives Jonathan Mingo a run for his money.
Hey, but speaking of Jonathan Mingo made a play. We'll get to him in just a second. But let's talk about Camden Brown. Is after tonight, because I'm hearing rumors said if Camden Brown don't make the roster, quarterback one's going to have a problem with that.
I think he's going to have a spot. What that spot will be, maybe.
I mean, you got CD, George Pickens, Flo, Turp. Shout out to Turp. Yeah, I mean, it's these last two spots. It's like you ain't got time to be muffing no punt.
Right, but the thing is, like, Turp will always be like a WR5 or 6.
Right, we know his focus is on special teams, but he's still going to take up a wide receiver spot.
But as far as like lining up in one of those personnel forms, he could easily be like a WR4. But it gives no, he won't be the fifth, because the fifth is like special teams.
Well, I mean, we don't even know how many. I mean, this Camden Brown play last night, Bob, let me throw it to you, Kels. I want to add a little context to this. It's very deep. And, with Camden Brown's performance, that's, muffin punts and shit like that, not looking good. It's going to be a lot of competition in this wide receiver unit. Do you think Camden Brown is solidified on this team after last night's performance, Bob?
First of all, 6'2", 204. I'm 6'3", 215. That dude's at a really good spot for the wide receiver height minimum that we want to be reaching in this. I talk about it all the time. I'm not just a heightist. There's something about having someone that can jump up there and catch the ball like our boy did in the end zone when he readjusted his body. So yes, I think based on the play that he showed yesterday, he automatically puts himself in a better conversation to be making this team than Mingo. But Mingo did make a play. I did see that. So again, having these battles is what's important about all this. You want them to be butting heads, because then the cream's going to rise to the top, and we don't know if it's going to be that guy or if it's going to be Mingo. So I like seeing. That's why I love preseason, because they're going to play their asses off.
Right. Okay, I want to get your thoughts on Mingo, because Mingo made a shoestring tackle that saved a special teams touchdown, and that's that type of effort play that I was looking for. But boy, that was huge. He walked him down, and I looked at the replay, and yes, Seattle Seahawks fans were celebrating, but I was like, thank you, Mingo. Kels, do you think Mingo has hung around long enough with a play like that he's trending upwards on making his wide receiver unit?
I mean, I can't hate what he's doing, because he had like two or three big conversion plays in this game. And that's why I said it gives it's going to give something to talk about, like what Bob and I was saying. It's going to give some good talk as far as Cam.
Yeah, I mean, it's compete. The compete mantra from camp now has made it into preseason, because now guys making big plays versus guys not making plays is going to have an effect on these guys trying to make this roster up next. But let us know in your comments down below. Does Trayshawn Holden not make the roster? Does Camden Brown solidify himself for the roster? And let us know which position group you'd like to go to next, because I want to throw it back to Kels, because somebody was talking about the trenches up here. I think B-Mac was saying that he's concerned about the offensive tackle play last night. He's concerned about some of the offensive tackle backups out there. What was your sights on that tackle unit out there on the line?
That left tackle is still shaky. I mean, Nate Thomas is good, but I want to see Shelton. I want to see more Shelton. That's the one that we got in the 5th round, 6th round of this year's draft. I want to see him. Yeah, we need to address that left tackle issue. Because
Bob, did you see any concerns out there on the line?
Yeah, but again, those concerns are what you have to hammer out in preseason. So if we're seeing this stuff with our starters, which I think we're going to have a problem with Terrence Steele this year. If we see these problems with our starters, then we're going to have to have these conversations. But I just think our coaches are too good to let these mistakes keep going on, even with these second and third stringers. So I don't know if anybody's jobs are going to be on the line, but if we've got somebody who's fundamentally doing things incorrect in practice and then does these things in preseason games, then you definitely slide yourself to the bottom of the list. And it's kind of hard to jump on that kind of judgment right there after game one. But the kid's going to go home and say to themselves, "Look, I made these mistakes. I got to clean it up, or I'm not going to make the team." So the self pressure is just as big as the outside pressure, I think.
Definitely. And Kels, keeping it with the ladies here. Caitlin's tapping in on the offensive side of the ball. I know you've been mentioning Brevin Spanford and Trigg. She says Trigg at tight end, definitely going to make that tight end 2 conversation interesting, especially when I think Princeton Fant went out with an ACL injury. He's gone. That limited or, shallowed that tight end locker room down. What was your thoughts on some of the tight end play you've seen last night?
I'm going to have to slightly disagree. The body style and size that big body Brev is definitely a TE2. Trigg more than likely is going to be the TE3. Now when I put the and I'm gonna be honest with you, he has already solidified the TE2 spot. Brev Spanford. What we're seeing now is who is going to be the TE3. That's what we're seeing now. Who's going to be the TE3? It's going to be between Scooney and Trigg. Right now, Trigg has the upper hand more than Scooney.
Yeah, B-Mac brings up a great point. Let me throw the ball to you, Bob, because some folks, especially I think Cowboy Can fan, who I linked up with at the press box last night, had said that Schoonmaker might be getting cut because y'all know y'all love some Michigan products. Shout out to my guy RC. Bob, what's your thoughts on the tight end room, and do you think Schoonmaker might be scooting his way on out of this tight end room?
I specifically haven't seen much from Schoonmaker for me to even really be upset if it did happen. So, yeah, and when you see somebody sort of disappearing, there's a reason for that. Trigg is somebody that I remember hearing people talk about at the draft. And I remember hearing people saying some good things about it. And then I remember saying to myself, why do we need a tight end?
We just signed Jake Ferguson to a new deal. We just drafted Jake, Schoonmaker. Yeah. And
because of this, because the whole entire time I was saying Vontae Mack no matter what. So getting an offensive player of any kind during that time was puzzling to me. But this is the reason why I don't work in the NFL and for the Dallas Cowboys, and the folks do that are there. So they understand and they saw something. But Trigg seems to be the truth, really.
There's a lot of hype around this guy, Trigg. Kels, what's your thoughts a little bit further on Trigg?
I love it because everything is segueing together. I like how they incorporated the 12 personnel in this game. So we're going to see. And I think on the other show we did, I talked about we're going to see a lot of 13 personnel.
The jumbo packs. Yeah, that's what I'm one of the
jumbo
tight end unit.
Right, and we're definitely going to see the 12 personnel with this game. They had Scooney and Trigg in the lineup, and Trigg finished off what Scooney didn't.
Just taking a look at
these highlights right here are giving me like Jalen Hurts PTSD, because that's one thing that I felt like we didn't do very well for a span of time, but then we started shutting him down. This dude was running on us quite a bit and for big yards. So I started feeling like, oh shit, here we go again.
Yeah, Michael Trigg, 4 receptions, 30 yards, 7.5 average, 10 yards long, behind the leader last night, Camden Brown, with 3 receptions, 62 yards. So Michael Trigg, his stock is up in Dallas. Let us know in the comments down there below. Yeah, B-Man, you was right. It looked like Schoolmaker dropping the ball. Only thing I didn't like about Trigg was the block on the QB run. But yeah, Trigg with them yards and this jumbo pack. Let's further this conversation, Kels. Why are the Cowboys going to run these jumbo packs? Why is it necessary for us to have these 2 tight ends? Does that mean we're going to run the ball? Is that what that means?
In other words, they definitely going to try to improve their red zone threat.
If you have a tight end that's extremely good at receiving and catching touchdowns, you can kind of overlook his inability to block. But overall, you want your tight end to be a damn good blocker. And it's why it's normally a TE2 and TE3 that are in those big single back formations anyway. Yeah. Sometimes your starters in there, but big blocks, man. Goal line, you're right.
Right. And Trigg professionally is not a blocking TE. He is definitely for red zone threats.
Is that kind of why we repaid Jake Ferguson, or gave him a new contract, because he's blocking? I mean, because he can catch pretty well too, and we know Dak likes to throw the rock to him. But I know he comes from a Big Ten school. They like to block tight ends out there, right?
Fergie is really not like a true blocking TE. He's very good in space, because when you see when once the ball is snapped, and you see how Dak is scrimmaging, and you see how everybody's spread out to the edges, and you have all that open space, that's where Fergie will juke out and go right there, and that's how Dak is able to connect with him. So he's more of a spatial tight end more than he is a blocking TE, but he's also a red TE as well, a red zone TE as well. But that's the reason why he has that connection with him. And the one thing I was thinking, like, dang, if he was like good as far as health wise and everything, imagine a Fergie and a Blake Jarwin playing together.
Well, we spoke about the offense a little bit. Now let's get back on this Christian Parker defense, because I don't think we touched on this, because last season we gave up, 511 points or some astronomical number.
They said it a few times last night. Don't worry.
Did they on the defensive side of the ball? We held the Super Bowl defending champs to 7 points. But let's get to this defensive side of the ball. Let me throw it to Bob first. This linebacker play, because we couldn't stop the run from getting to the second level in the secondary last year. How did you see, or what did you see from this linebacker play in this first preseason game?
I'll tell you what I didn't see, which will tell you what I did see. I did not see us missing tackles. I didn't see us getting bowled over. I didn't see us really doing stupid stuff and being out of position. It really felt like more last year that everybody just wasn't where they needed to be in order to even make a play, which is why those plays were not made. Whereas the new defense puts these players on the ball, it seems like, at all times. Our defense seemed to be on the ball all the time, making good tackles. There were a couple missed ones, but overall, it was a good defensive scheme and a really, really good coached up team. The way we shut down that team for the rest of the game. I mean, you don't get to do that. And
did any particular one linebacker stick out to you? Any particular big plays?
I mean, James made a couple really important hits in a couple of plays in that game. I just felt I'll tell you what I didn't see is did Barwin even play, or Barham? Did he play?
I don't think he played. I think something was saying he did. I didn't see him suit up.
No, because it was questionable.
Okay.
because I seen him with his jersey on while folks were warming up. So I don't remember.
I think he got a groin injury or an ankle injury, so it was questionable, but they decided not to. So it's a possibility he will be in preseason week 2. Well, before we close, just remind me, I do have a little insight for preseason week 2 that we might see. I did check out Curtis Robinson, who wore the green dot helmet.
We only seen a little bit of Caleb in the first half. We didn't see no Demo. So who is this again?
Right, Knight. Tyree Knight. That linebacker Knight. That guy was in on a bunch of plays too.
Who'd you say was running the green dot yesterday, Kels?
Curtis Robinson.
Okay, linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you see from the linebacker unit with the green dot.
His communication was good. I'll give him like a B-. I just saw Caitlin's thing, and that's true. That's a good synopsis of what a T is. I still think it's some things that they need to clear up, but as far as how they were in sync, they were pretty good. I give them a solid B-.
There was no green dot things that you've seen or no giveaways, because a lot of folks fail to understand. They're like, why are we running such vanilla plays? Like, we don't want to show our hand, right? We don't just want to go out there and say, hi, this is who the green dot is, and this is what we're going to do.
Right. And the thing is, with the preseason games, what I need people to realize, and this is for all 32 teams, this is it's like I don't want to say a job interview, but it's basically like a job interview. You're showing your performance so you can get the job. And to say
like a Camden Brown performance.
Exactly. But it's basically to see, are you applying what you are learning in during training camp? It's just seeing if you're applying the skills that you have learned thus far being in training camp. So I did see with Curtis Robinson being the Mike linebacker, which is the green dot. I saw him moving chess pieces around, and that's what I was looking at too. And I didn't see anything. It was just little one snafu with Shamar James, but once that cleared up and everything for the next play, I didn't see it anymore. So like I said, I'll give it a B-. I want to
B-Mac
bring back the green dot next week.
Yeah, B-Mac's tapping in. He says on the defensive end, Shamar James, I did see Shamar James make some plays. I seen Maris Leofau. I know how to say his name. Maris Leofau.
Very good.
Maris looks like he's ready. Not Leofau, Leofau. Yeah, not Lofo, Leofau.
Bring me a loaf of bread.
Maris Leofau. Let's see. I think I got. Maris Leofau. Here he is, right here. This guy.
I'm a fan, 35. Man. I'm a fan. He just brings something, man. He brings the energy when he's out there. I don't know. Maybe it's always the dudes with the long hair that I guess feel like that too. They look like superheroes running around there, dude. But he does feel like he flies around. So I think I don't think I'm alone in that.
Well, as we get ready to round down, we got the Arizona Cardinals next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, rather. And I know One Star One Family is going to be out there. So shout out to all of the Cowboy fans that pulled up and showed out. The hype is real. I seen everybody at training camp. Everybody named Mama was out there. Shout out to everybody who went to camp. The hype from camp translated over to some of the performances on this first preseason game. I'm glad that we were able to come in the trap and take over the trap up here in Seattle, because we're going to spin the block back in December for Monday Night Football. So if you missed us in round 1, make sure you show up at the press box. Monday Night Football, there's going to be events all weekend long. There's going to be a rally game day on Sunday. There's going to be a tailgate and a barbecue and all that on Monday. And then you got the Monday night game. And the press box is literally just blocks away from Lumen Field. And it was a lot of fun, especially had folks from Canada, Oregon, Tri-Cities. So make sure if you miss out, spin the block back with us. One Star One Family, go to onestar1family.com. I'll drop that link down in the comments below. But this is the recap. But going into Arizona, Bob, let me throw the ball to you while I get up this link for One Star One Family. What is something you want to see going up against the Cardinals this Saturday that you maybe didn't see against the Seahawks?
Well, if we run the same starters that we started with yesterday, and we play them exactly how we played them again against the Cardinals, maybe exactly how, but in the same lineup, then as long as we don't make those same mistakes and start off slow like we did, then it would be an improvement. And that's all we want to see in preseason. If somebody screws up in number 1, since there's only 3 games, then you don't want to see that same mistake made in 2, and definitely not in 3. We're probably not going to see any of the starters, at least not the big-time starters. But what I would like to see is Caleb Downs play a little bit more. I know they're being careful with the dude. I get that. I'd like to see him play in a couple of plays just to kind of see. But he's where the ball is every time. So I don't know. The Cardinals again. As long as we clean up those penalties, it'll feel like an improvement, and we can build on that moving forward.
Kills, what's one thing you want to see moving into this Saturday with this Cowboys preseason game, second game that maybe you didn't see versus Seahawks?
2 things. I'm about to drop it to y'all.
Okay.
I want to see this 22 personnel that they're planning on doing, which is 2 running backs, or a running back and a fullback, the 2 tight ends, and a wide receiver. This is what they're planning on doing against week 2 against the Cardinals. So I would like to see this 22 personnel. I want to see if they're going to give somebody else another opportunity to wear the green dot. I do think Jayshawn Barham will be up and ready to go for this game. So I would like to see him in the Mike linebacker position. As far as with what Bob said, one thing I'm noticing, they're handling Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles with kid-like gloves. I was at
Makes sense.
The Commanders preseason game on Friday. Let me tell you, I know Shotty and Clayton Adams is good, but they need to get this offensive line together, especially when it comes to this this left tackle, because their defense, who they showed for their front 7 on defense, is nothing to be played with, and they did not have Sonny Styles in the game. Nothing. There are nothing to be played with. This Durante Jones 3-4 hybrid scheme that he is running, Clayton Adams, Connor Riley, and Shotty better be ready.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The offensive line coaches, Connor Riley. I mean, is this a technician thing at the Connor Riley level? What do you think, really, as you diagnose this offensive line changes, where the problem might be at?
It's going to be at left tackle, because that nose tackle that they have, that's going to be sitting there waiting for Tyler Smith and whoever the left tackle is, if it's Tyler Guyton, he's ready for you, and he's going to clobber you, and don't ask no questions about it. They better get this offensive line together right now. And also special teams. I see that Nick is trying to improve a little bit. I'm glad that when they had Mingo to receive the ball, that he just stopped right there instead of doing a fair catch move, but then you still take off running, which caused another penalty. So I'm seeing that he's trying to clean up some of the mistakes that he made from last season.
Well, I had a little chit chat with Jerry down on the sidelines yesterday, man. He said, "Keep it up, BG. We watch you on the big 3." You know what I mean? I'll be in the background. I can't comment, and or share or support, but I see you, big dog. But go tell your crew that it's back up.
BG, I always did like you, buddy. Thank you so much for supporting Dallas Cowboys. You're the best out there.
Hey, man.
B-Mac just made a good thing. Yeah, they do call Barham Bam Bam. Reddy Stewart, he needs to be a safety. I hate that they have him in the cornerback room. He is a safety. He is a true safety.
Kills. Jerry said it's back up. I need your response. It's back up.
I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah, Jerry told me to come and tell you and Bob that it's back up. So I wanted to deliver that message here for everybody today. And yeah, I'm glad we got the win. I think we all want to see it, but it's got to feel good as a Cowboys fan going 1-0 in the preseason, because we barely win any preseason games. And we know it's just preseason, haters. But we all know, Kels and Bob, too, if we'd have lost yesterday, there've been a lot of people in our comment section, right? A lot of people with a lot of things to say, right, Kels?
Nah, because they look at it's just preseason. Why are you making a big stint over that's what I see. But the thing is, I'm looking at these could be potential 53-man roster spots or one of the 48s that will be dressed to play on game day. That's how I look at it.
Well, it doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot today. Yesterday was the first time, I think, in 10 years that Dallas won their first preseason. Their first preseason. I think it's something like that. And then did we have the Ravens win all of their games for like 10 years as well?
Ravens are the preseason Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, it definitely lets you know what team is more disciplined for sure. Yeah. But at the same time, it's not a big outcome situation.
But you know what I want to see, and I've been noticed the pattern. Like most of their preseason games is like on the West Coast. I would like to see them come up this way for a preseason game.
Well, somebody's paying attention. Shout out to Patrick Van Leer out there on YouTube. Yeah, it's back up, baby. And the big three is back up. We'll be back up, too, with the Cardinals this Saturday. So pay attention. I'll be back up on live with Bill Different Group at 5 p.m. We're going to have Super Cowboy after we just beat the Super Bowl defending champions last night. Y'all got any questions y'all want me to ask Super Cowboy Bob? You got a specific question you want me to ask him?
Oh, man, on the spot. I don't.
Not at the top of my head, but I put in. But look, B-Mac, look. I need another one that broke.
What happened? What's that?
The umbrella.
Oh,
Well, we're going to keep it pushing, y'all. Y'all keep it pushing out there today, too. It's Victory Sunday. It's been the Big Three recap show versus the Seahawks. Make sure and turn on your notifications. Thank you if you supported the content. If you can, at least use hashtag replay, like, share, and comment, and we'll definitely see y'all in the gym on the next episode. Super Cowboy up at 5 p.m., baby. Let's go.
Peace.
And I can't think of anyone more worthy of this honor. He's so devoted to the Cowboys, he became Super Cowboy, the costume character that's been inspiring other fans and has been a present at Dallas charity events for years. Which brings us to today. We asked Miguel, or should I say Super Cowboy, to help us with a charity donation drive. And of course, he said yes.